Hey, now it's a beautiful day where I'm at. It's Friday the 4th of June already. I thought to myself, I have a stack of records here that's built up, and I'm about to put them away. So let me just show them before I put them away. How's that? Beautiful day. I was downtown in the market today. Some open air music going on, and ran into a bunch of people. Really, really good to see people. We're trying to get back to normal. It really felt good. Had a hankering to hear Do the Strand by Roxy music. I just have a really favorite memory of getting this album when it came out and experiencing this great divide among my friends, because some of my longer standing music friends just couldn't get this at all, thought it was terrible. And, I knew better, I could hear why they thought it was terrible, but I could also hear what they were missing. Still a really cool album. If you follow me on Facebook, you saw that I showed this morning. Played this first record I played this morning. This really is overlooked and underrated. This is really a very good album. This is the band's Sun Ambulance on Saddle Creek Records. Someone Else's Deja Vu. This album came out in 2008. It's when I joined the band. I'm on this album, just one track, but very ambitious. Joe and Giuffre, who were the main people behind putting this together, plus Joe's brother Dan, they really were pushing the envelope of what they could do. And I must admit that while I was for the longest part while I was on tour with them, I was still working on understanding half of the music, because they had ideas I didn't really quite understand, even though I was playing them. Seriously, this is a very good album. One of the best records on the Saddle Creek Records label. Transit Express, a band that is related, I believe, to Magma, Serge Perathoner, and David Rose, Christian LaRue. This is jazz rock, the Opus Progressif. Instrumental, good writing and good playing. Something I like. I like the combination, not just noodly shit. I like good writing. Dan Deacon, Spiderman of the Rings. I hadn't ever listened to this all the way through. I got it used many years ago after just catching a bit of his set. I didn't see his whole set, but he was really intense. And right there in the middle of the crowd, it was really good. This is really cool. Electronic, saying that it's an electronic record doesn't do it justice. It's just very imaginative. This is an electronic album in the vein of Tangerine Dream and modular synthesis Klaus Schultz classics. This one is. It's Thoughts of War by Mark Shreeve on the Uniton label. He has more albums, but this is the only one I've been able to find. And this is, in my opinion, and seriously, if you don't know this and you like the Tangerine Dream school, I could think of some other ones, but that's the one. You'll know what I mean when you hear this. Klaus Schultz, really good, really good. What else we got here? Jimmy Giuffre 4, Quasar. A lot of history here with Mr. Jimmy Giuffre, which I can't go into right now because sometimes I need to study up when I want to talk about things. But his playing and his history in jazz is important. And he's one that I admire because he tries different things throughout his career. He would try different things. And this is an example of it. Quasar. This album's kind of spacey. It's jazzy, but he also tries things with the keyboard sounds and composition. Not always necessarily that great results, but overall, really, really good. Here's one I've shown before, but I had fun yesterday sharing the story on online, and I'll share it here. Again, I've said it, I've told it before when I got the album. Suzi Quatro, you all know who she is, either through TV Happy Days or through her music. But what some people don't know, or a lot of people don't know, is that she and her sisters, starting out with the Pleasure Seekers before this band, and then Cradle, were among the very first all-female rock bands out working it. Cradle, this is a recent release of their stuff way after the fact. This stuff all goes back to like around 1970. And I'm really glad that this has finally come out. It's on a beautiful purple vinyl. But my story is great because I went to a all-boys prep school here in Omaha. And they, you know, I was out there with all these rich people, okay? And so they have money and they have privilege. So they would get national acts all the time for our sock hops. That's where I first saw Brownsville Station, Tommy Bolin and Energy. I missed it, but Todd Rundgren played, Bob Seger played, Chase. The list goes on. Lightning from Minneapolis. I'm missing some. Even some Sugarloaf. I saw Sugarloaf for a dance. And this band. And for a while I was on the Sock Hop Committee. That's my story. And while I was on the committee at Prep for dances, Cradle played. And so I was one of the night people managing the show. And at the end of the show, I was the one. It was my assignment to pay the band. They blew me away. I had never seen an all-girl band, and they were really good. I mean, they really could play. I can vaguely remember a couple of these songs after listening to this album a few times. But Suzi, I'm pretty sure it was Suzi that I paid. I mean, I sat with the whole band after the show, and I was really quite intimidated. I was like only maybe 16. They were so cool, and they were hot. I mean, pardon me if that sounds sexist, but my God. I have to tell you the truth of the memory. I was freaking out on all levels after the show, especially being a music freak, you know. I ended up overpaying them, you know, and I got in trouble because one of the teachers thought that myself and another student had stolen money. But no, it turns out we overpaid the band, and I remember it now because Suzi looked at me kind of like funny after I was still counting, and she gave me a funny look, and I'm just a kid. I can still see this in my mind. Like she was seeing that I was overpaying them, and okay. But I met Suzi Quatro when she was in Cradle, probably around 1970. Quite a memory. Anita, if you see this over in Poland, thank you for sending this album to me. This is a classic progressive rock album. Garbage pickup outside. Cressida, Asylum, their second album. You know, it's got a Moody Blues thing to it, but more progressive. I was just talking about the Elastic Rock by Nucleus. That's still out. Showing this again, because this is a recent acquisition. I've been after this album for years. I've talked about it before, I think. Japanese keyboardist Hiro Yanagida. He was in Food Brain and man, that's loud, isn't it? That is really loud, isn't it? Now they're picking my shit up. But this was recently reissued by the label that put it out originally, Atlantic, in Japan. This is a really cool, loopy. I love it. David Sylvian and Holger Czukay, both of the albums they did put together as a double album. And this is wonderful. It's not background at all. This is very present, moving sonic pictures, flux and mutability, and plight and premonition put together on one album. I haven't put this on yet, but this is another one of those synthesizer albums that goes back to the days when people were really taking a lot of inspiration from Tangerine Dream, but this is Neuronium. I think it's a Spanish band. Vuelo, Quimico? I need to get to this. Told you I got a bunch of records, and now we're getting into the records that I showed, except for a couple more here that I haven't. 808 State Outpost Transmissions. They're recognized as being some early techno, I wouldn't say pioneers, but they were in on the game early and making good stuff. And this is a good album. Hot Chip. This was an earworm in my head yesterday. And so I was like, I really like this song, just put it on, and it is. They got, man, Hot Chip. I really like the band. I've seen them live. Hotlegs. When I showed this, it was cool. It's interesting. Well, again, it's interesting how stuff that I kind of think is well known isn't. I showed this and put in the description. This was 10cc before they were 10cc, and quite a few comments were like, I had no idea. I love that band, and this is very cool. They had the hit off of this, Neanderthal Man. But this whole album, you can hear it. It's 10cc already. Great songwriting. Flyover. Okay, I think I've shown. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I just had these records. Now I'm going to put them away. You all have a great weekend. I might be back. I might not. I mean, as far as the weekend.